Welcome to my Technology Integration Project. This project spans the length of 3 45-minute class periods. Day 1, the students will listen to the book, choose groups and animals. Day 2, they will complete their research in Graphic Organizer. And Day 3, they will create their digital graphic. In this project, second grade students will begin by listening to the picture book You Don't Want a Unicorn by Amy Digman. This story explains why having a unicorn as a pet is much more trouble than one would think. Afterwards, students will discuss the persuasive techniques used by the author to convince the reader that having a unicorn is a lot of trouble. Students will also brainstorm adjectives and phrases that help the author describe the unicorn. Next, students choose partners, and then they choose an animal that might seem fun to have as a pet, but in actuality would not be. Students will brainstorm what they already know about the pet with their partner. On day 2, the students will use devices to use the website PebbleGo to research the animal that they chose. When students are ready to work on the research portion of their project, they need a device with internet access. It could be an iPad, a tablet, a Chromebook, a desktop computer. As long as it has web access, it'll be able to work with PebbleGo. So when they open the internet, they will go to pebblego.com. Then they will click the login button. They will enter the username and password for the campus. And then they click Go. Once they're logged into PebbleGo, the databases the school subscribes to shows up. And in this case, since I'm researching animals, I'm going to go to the animal database. Now it gives me different categories of animals that I can maneuver through if I want to look for my animal that way, or I can just simply click in the box at the top to search for the animal by name. So let's say I'm searching for elephants, and I want to look at Asian elephants. So now it's going to bring up information about Asian elephants. What I really like about this database is it already organizes the information into categories for the students. I have a tab for body that's going to tell me about physical features, habitat, food, life cycle, fun facts, and related articles. And one of the great things about PebbleGo is all of the text has the speaker button beside it. So for our struggling readers, they can click on the speaker boxes and the text will be read to them, and it will highlight what word the program is reading at that time. So this way, all of our students are going to be able to do their research independently and find what they need on their particular animal. The information will then be recorded into the graphic organizer so that they can figure out what about this animal would make it not a good pet. Is it the strength of its jaw? Is it how many pounds it weighs? Is it how much it actually eats every day? And they will begin to process what do they need to put into their digital graphic to explain why that particular animal would not make a good pet. On day 3, students will use iPads and the Bensi app to create a poster or graphic visual display to show that based on facts about their animal, they really wouldn't make a good pet. When students are ready to complete the digital portion of their assignment, they're going to use an iPad and go to the Bensi app. Bensi will ask them to log in, but if your school is a Google Apps for Education school, this is really easy because it allows them to log in with their same Google credentials. So once you get into your Bensi account, you can see Bensis that you've made previously in the past. And to start a new one, you're going to tap the plus sign in the lower right-hand corner. This gives me 2 options. I can go ahead and add an item to my Bensi, or I can add a background. I usually start by adding a background, so that way if my background that I choose has dark colors or something, I can adjust the text as I add it instead of having to go back and reformat things later. So when I click Add a Background, it gives me an option to add a pre-made background from Bensi, add a color, so it'll simply be a solid background, add an image from the web, or add a photo from my camera roll. If I click on Bensi, I'm going to look for a background that has to do with my particular animal, and let's say, for example, my animal is an elephant. So I could look through their pre-made examples to find an elephant. And I see that they didn't have one with an actual image of an elephant, but here's one that would be good for my project because it's going to allow me to add lots of text boxes on it without having to worry about whether my color is contrasting enough or whether my text box is covering up too much of the picture. So once I select the background I want, I just click Insert. So you can see now I have the background that takes up the entire slide. From here, I can click the plus sign to add another item, and I can add text boxes, stickers, which are basically like clip arts, messages, a web image, a drawing that I do myself, an animated clip, a photo, or a YouTube video. For this project, it makes the most sense to add text boxes since I'm going to need to add facts about why my animal, though it may seem very cute and cuddly and sweet, would actually not make a great pet because of how strong they are or how much they weigh or how strong their jaws are and things of that nature. Once I'm ready to finish my Buncee and share it, I can click the share button and it'll save it, and then it'll give me several options on how I want to share the Buncee. If my students and the teacher both have the AirDrop with Apple devices, you could AirDrop the files. If you're logged into Google Classroom, it will also allow you to upload those directly into Google Classroom. I can also do the save an image if I just wanted to put it in my camera and video roll, so that way I could possibly add it into my Google Drive later. So that's how they create their final product in Buncee. In completing this project, several learning objectives are going to be addressed. Students are working on writing and their writing process, making sure that they have correct grammar, spelling, punctuation, etc. They're paying attention to persuasive elements in writing their persuasive reasons why the animal wouldn't be a good pet. They're researching and having a research plan. They're gathering information, conducting their research. They're synthesizing the information that they find, and then they're organizing and presenting their ideas. This project incorporates elements of several different learning theories: constructivism, discovery learning, and the cognitive theory of multimedia learning. This project can be considered under the category of several learning theories, most specifically constructivism. In this technology and research project, students are connecting new information about a specific animal to knowledge they previously held about the animal. By conducting the research themselves and deciding what characteristics of the animal would actually be undesirable, students are actively engaged in constructing new knowledge. Also, this project aligns well with discovery learning, which is under the umbrella of constructivism. In the animal research project, the librarian is using an inquiry-based approach since students are answering the question of why their animal would not make a good pet. Students are actively engaged in answering this question for themselves since they are conducting their own research. In completing the digital graphic portion of the project, students are also using creativity and independence. Additionally, this project corresponds to the cognitive theory of multimedia learning. First, this project utilizes pictures, images, audio, and text for mediums. As the students progress through the various steps of the project, students are filtering through the information about their animal to decide what particular facts prevent the animal from being a good pet. They are also organizing the information and integrating it into the digital graphic they ultimately create. This digital project also utilizes Merrill's Principles of Instruction as an instructional design model. In Merrill's Principles of Instruction, the learning is task-based and applies to the real world. Since this project centers on the task of researching a real-life animal with real-life implications, the project fits this model well. In Phase 1 of the Principles of Instruction, students activate prior knowledge by brainstorming what they already know about the animal. In Phase 2, the librarian demonstrates how to use PebbleGo and Buncee. In Phase 3, the students are applying this information to conduct their own research. Finally, in Phase 4, the students integrate their new animal facts and their technology knowledge to create the final digital graphic. That concludes my digital project. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.